Can I see some hands if you have not heard of the miracles that are in the image, like the stars, the way she appeared? So we have one. You never know when to start, because we've been talking about Guadalupe and the image for many years. So I got this vestment in Morelia, and in the book of Revelations we see here about a woman clothed in the sun, standing on the moon, and above her head was a crown of 12 stars. So some people who are ignorant of Scripture think that this image was painted by Spaniards to convert the indigenous. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is not a painting. This is embroidery, but her image in Tepeyac is not a painting. There is some paint on there because human beings just cannot leave things alone. That's not horns that she's standing on. The black crescent, that's the moon. You know why it's black? Because somebody thought it would be smart to coat that moon with silver. What does silver do when it tarnishes? It turns black. It was never intended to be that way. You can see some damage on part of the image. I think it's over on this side, where they were cleaning and they spilt some ashes. So NASA scientists have looked at this image, and it is not in the cactus fiber. The cactus fiber is still white. It emanates, in other words, like light. It comes off of the tilma. And if you get very close to it, the image is blurred. If you step away from her at a distance, the image is very clear. The thing I want to talk about today is that this isn't something that happened on December 12, 1531, which it did, but it didn't start and end there, because that image is not imprinted on the fiber. The other part of that is cactus fibers, agave fibers, disappear within 100 years. They turn to dust. But this image and this tilma have been around for almost 500 years. So that's a miracle in itself. There's a microscopic area of air in between the fibers and the image. Now this was impossible at the time in 1531. It was impossible until computers and an optometrist got a computer program to look at the curvature of the eyes. Does anybody know what we can see in her eyes? We can see the Archbishop, we can see his assistants, we can see an indigenous family and their children. It was only recently that we could see those things. Scientists have also used computers to analyze the stars on her veil, her manto. Those are the stars that were over Mexico City on December 12, 1531. Amazing. Goes on and on and on. That image is a constant, ongoing miracle. It has occurred every minute of every day for almost 500 years. It's an emanation. It's alive. Who believes that? They took her temperature, it's 98.6. They put a stethoscope to her abdomen. They can hear a fetal heartbeat. It's alive. She's alive. In 2013, I made my first mission to orphans in Mexico, and then we went to Mexico City, and we went to the Basilica. And we had Mass there, and after Mass, I went to see her image, and they won't let you stand in front of it. There's 3 conveyors that go by, and you can look at her as you go by. And as I was passing by, I noticed that the sunburst around her was slightly glowing. And when I got to my mission team, I said, "Did you guys see the sun glowing?" And they said, no, Father. So I went back the next time to see if maybe it was some reflection off the lights or whatever. It was even brighter the second time. She was telling me, I'm here, I'm alive. The next day, Sunday morning, we got up, 5 o'clock to go to the airport. Too early for me. My team was going back home through Las Vegas, and I was going home by myself through Los Angeles. Got up in the air, had something to eat, immediately fell asleep. I woke up and she was talking to me in Spanish about her love for me, her support for my priesthood. And then she shocked me wide awake. She said, yo quiero un santuario para santo matrimonio y la protección de la familia. She said, I desire a shrine for holy matrimony and the protection of the family. 5 years after that, we built that shrine and Bishop Eusebio came and blessed it. She's alive. She's communicating new messages. Before dawn, Juan Diego was making a long hike to go attend Mass and Catechism. And as they passed Tepeyac Hill, he heard what sounded to him like birds singing. So he started to climb a hill. But the music was unlike anything he had ever heard before. And for Aztecs, birds and music are signs of heaven. When he climbed the hill, he saw something. He saw the Virgin Mary. That's not all he saw, and I only learned about this last year. All the stones, all the dirt, all the grass, all the cactus, everything was glowing with the color of jewels. And so he asked himself, am I already in heaven? Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Very spectacular. Everything speaking of heaven. And Mary told him to go on a mission. She told him to bring her message to the bishop in Mexico. Antes de amanecer, Juan Diego caminaba para asistir a la misa. Escucho música y al principio pienso que eran los cantos de los pajareros, pero la música era diferente a todo lo que había escuchado. Y se preguntó si estaba en el cielo. Estoy en el cielo. During her first apparition on December 9th, 1531, Our Lady said to Juan Diego, know for certain, my dearest of my sons, that I am the perfect, perpetual Virgin Mary, Mother of the true God, through whom everything lives, the Lord of all things, who is Master of heaven and earth. I am your merciful Mother, the Mother of all who lived united in this land, and of all mankind, and of all those who love me, and of those who cry to me, and those who have confidence in me. Here, I will hear the weeping and sorrows, and will remedy and alleviate their sufferings, necessities, and misfortunes. Through her message given to all human beings, our Blessed Mother converted the Aztecs to Christ and stopped the sacrifice of thousands to appease their gods. And all of Latin America became Catholic. Wow. 9 million people in Europe converted to Protestantism. And in the New World, 9 million indigenous converted to Jesus Christ over the next few years. Now, I only learned this a couple days ago. Her miracles, besides the construction of the shrine here, she continues to emanate every day, every moment. So that miracle's ongoing. And in 1991, in Portland, Oregon, our brothers and sisters received a gift. Someone took a photo of the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, the missionary image. Remember that? It was about 2014. We had an image of Guadalupe going throughout the state. The photo is exactly like the original photo taken on August 15, 1991 at the National Sanctuary of Our Sorrowful Mother in Portland, Oregon. People are receiving miracles. Demons are being driven out of homes. People are converting more profoundly to Jesus Christ and are joining Mary. They're consecrating themselves to her to join the war against Satan. The new images from this photo are not human. They're supernatural. They're sent by God. So we must see this image of Our Lady as our loving Mother in heaven, who knows all about us. She came to help us. She's there constantly. When I have people come to me in confession, they have problems, they say, if you're struggling to conceive a child, go talk to Mary, go to the shrine. Your kids are rebellious, not practicing faith, go to her. Ask her help. You got trouble with your spouse, go to her. Ask her for help. She asked for that shrine in Lakewood to be for holy matrimony, for people who are looking for spouses, for people who want to get along better with their spouse, and for the conception of children, and protection of our family from the attacks of the evil ones. Los milagros de esta foto han llegado a través de esta foto. Algunos han olido rosas. Some people smell roses when they've been with that image. That's always a sign of our Blessed Mother. Otros repelieron demonios de sus hogares. Algunos se fortalecieron en la fe y se volverán más diligentes en ayudar a Nuestra Señora en su guerra contra Satanás. Nuestra Señora nos está pidiendo que restauramos la verdadera fe y devoción a la Sagrada Eucaristía. She's asking us to renew our faith in the truth of the Holy Eucharist and our devotion to Eucharistic adorations. Our time, even as difficult as this is, offers us an opportunity to repair all that has been broken. So we know that Jesus said, He's established His church on the rock, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And Our Lady has told us at Fatima, and she's told us through Guadalupe, that the final battle is over holy matrimony and the family. And she helps us with her invincible power that she received from her Son, Jesus Christ. Monsignor Eduardo Chavez is co-founder of the Institute for Guadalupe Studies. He was the postulator for Juan Diego's sainthood. His mission is to help the world to understand the message of Guadalupe is universal. Lots of people in this country know about Guadalupe, but they think, oh, she's Mexican. She's only for the Mexicans. No, she's not Aztec. She appeared as mestiza. She appeared as a mixed-race person because her message was for the European Spaniards and for the indigenous. She came for all of us, and she said that she came for all of us who live in Americas. Well, what's that? That's Alaska to the tip of Chile and Argentina, the north and the south, all of us. And where are we from? The whole world. All the continents. She came for all of us. She appeared in Mexico City, a unique thing that's never been done for any other country. But she didn't come for the indigenous. She came for all humankind, for all of us. And she loves us and can help us no matter what our problems are. Monsignor Chavez said, there's a very strong similarity between the time of the apparition of Guadalupe and our current age. There are so many who are trying to persecute and destroy life from its origin from the maternal womb, and to silence the church at all costs, even killing her so that she can't fight for life. in the 16th century, there were several plagues which happened in North America too. Communicable diseases spread, and they took the lives of millions of natives. There was constant war and conflicts between the Aztecs and Spaniards, and even among the Aztecs themselves, and this is scandalous. Missionaries were killed by the military, the Spanish military, because they were baptizing the natives. And they feared, the military, that if the indigenous were baptized, they couldn't be enslaved and exploited. So they killed the missionaries. The priests, they killed their own priests. A Spanish judge tried to assassinate the Bishop of Mexico, Fray Juan de Zumarraga. 3 earthquakes struck Mexico in 1530, the year before the apparitions. Monsignor Chavez said it was especially terrible for the indigenous because, according to their creation myths, the world was created by 4 earthquakes. And to make things worse, a comet was seen over Mexico in 1531. And for the indigenous, it seemed to them like the universe was tearing apart. The Spaniards were so mean and so oppressive that they were afraid to leave behind their gods, even though their gods were no longer helping them. It took a miracle, the image of Guadalupe, to speak to them with the message. Do you know her message? I bring to you the Son of the true God who gives life. Gives life instead of takes life in human sacrifice. And it's said it takes a Mexican and a Spaniard to understand this image. Aztecs did not have a written language. They had a pictorial language. And when they look at the image of Guadalupe, they see things that speak their language. And they see that she's not God because she's looking down in prayer, looking towards them. The places where there's flowers on here, they knew these represent the mountains in the Valley of Mexico. One of their gods is the sun god, the other is the moon god. So they know she's standing in front of the sun god, so she's greater than that god, and she's standing on the moon, so she's greater than that god. This little angel down here has one hand on her dress. This is the color of human royalty in the Aztec community. The angel's other hand has a hold of her manto, her veil, with the stars. So they see that this is the blending of heaven come to earth. 9 million people were converted. They baptized 2,000 and 3,000 people a day. Father, can you imagine what that was like for those poor priests? 2,000 baptisms in one day. People walked for days, literally days or even weeks, to come to be baptized. Not because they saw the image, but because they heard the Mother of God had come for them. This image of Our Lady of Guadalupe is an ongoing miracle. And anyone can go to the Basilica in Mexico City and see this image. And you might have some experience. 3 years in a row, she gave me some experience of her presence. The first 2 times, it was the sun glowing. The 3rd time I went there, a year later, nothing, nada. No feeling, no color, no glowing. And I'm going, Molly, what's going on? I know you love me. What's happening? Well, I went out, and she manifested herself to my pilgrimage group. They saw her expulse a demon from the basilica, and they saw the demon leave. Thank you, Mother. For me, nothing. For my group, a miracle. Good enough for me. El milagro de la imagen de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe es un milagro continuo y cualquiera puede ir a la Basílica en la Ciudad de México para ver su imagen. Está vivo con una temperatura de 98.6 y tiene un latido cardíaco fetal en su sueño. Cuando le viste por primera vez en 2017, vi el sol detrás de ella brillando. Le pregunté a mi equipo misionero si habían visto esto. Todos dijeron que no. Así que volví a ponerme en fila y el sol fue más brillante. Gracias a Dios. Gracias. ¡Que viva María!
¡Que viva!
Ella viva en este tiempo cada momento. We know that the saints in heaven are alive, and this image is alive, and it's unique. She has spoken to people in the past in other countries. Nowhere has she left this image, and it's not a painting. It is an icon, but it's not a painting. It's alive, it's vibrant. Evil people have tried to destroy this image, and all have failed. A communist, I think it was in the 1920s, in the old basilica, tried to blow her up with a bomb. And if you go to the old basilica, you can see the marble altar is cracked. Has anybody been to the old basilica? There's a crucifijo. There's the altar crucifix, it's about this tall. It's like an S, bent. So you can see the destruction of the power. Well, the image was right above and untouched. This proves that God sustains this image, protects this image, that He wants to have us reverence and be converted by this miracle. You ask for proof of God? I've got one. God has a mother, and her name is?
Mary.
Maria. Huh? Let me tell you how this image came to be. On December 12th, 1531, she appeared to 51-year-old Juan Diego, a humble indigenous. And she gave him a message to take to the bishop, and he did take it to the bishop. Did the bishop listen? No, he doubted him. So Juan Diego tried to go to get a priest the next day. He went on the other side of the hill trying to sneak past. And she found him and said, Juan Dieguito, mi más pequeño hijo. Juani, my littlest son, where are you going? And he said, in Nahuatl, the Aztec language is poetic. He said, I'm nothing. I have no status. You need to ask somebody who has some status. I'm just a leaf blowing in the wind. Find somebody else. And she said, Juan Dieguito, I have chosen you for this. Go to the top of the hill and cut flowers. And he went to the top of the hill and cut flowers. Now, I thought it was just roses. It's not just roses. He cut a bunch of flowers. But significantly, there was Castellano roses. December 9th. Roses don't bloom on top of hills and flourish December 9th. So he brought them to the bishop. And of course his guards were trying to see what he had in his tilma, right? So he's walking in there and he's holding this and they're peeking in there and they can see some flowers. And he comes before the bishop who asked for a sign. He did this. Everybody kneeled immediately. He knew it was the Mother of God. And miracles started happening immediately. Healings. His uncle, San Bernardino, was healed. His uncle had the Virgin appear to him too in the house where Juan Diego lived. He was dying. She said, don't worry about that. I got you covered. She healed Bernardino. And he lived. Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles said, Guadalupe is the true founding event in American history. We are all children of Our Lady of Guadalupe. In God's plan, this is one continent. Within a few years, millions came to be baptized. A great wave of holiness. The way forward for the church is to return to Guadalupe. El Obispo José Gómez de los Angeles dijo, Guadalupe es el verdadero evento fundacional en la historia de Estados Unidos en las Américas. Todos somos hijos de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe. El plan de Dios este es un continente. En pocos años, millones vinieron a ser bautizados, un gran ola de santidad. El camino a seguir para la iglesia es regresar a Guadalupe. The way forward is to restore our faith in Guadalupe, the truth of the Holy Eucharist. There's a very strong similarity between that time and our time. We have to remember God is the most powerful force in the universe. And our love for each other, our love for God, is more powerful than Satan and than anything he can do to us. Division, sickness, cancer, divorce, rebellious children. He's stronger than all of those. Pope Benedict XVI said of the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, God has not done anything like this for any other nation. El Papa Benedicto XVI dijo, la imagen de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, Dios no ha hecho nada como esto para ninguna otra nación. What's my time doing? 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Okay, questions, commentary. I'm going to come down because I can't hear. She has spoken to me more than twice, so she and I are good friends. I'm an obedient son. There we go. I'm an obedient son of our Blessed Mother. She's spoken to me several times. Matter of fact, when I was in Jaznagora, Chestakova, I couldn't see her face because of the pillar was in the way. And during Psalm Vespers on Sunday night, I could only see this much of her face, and then she showed me the rest of her face. I did not move my head. She's alive. Okay.
Yes, I just think she is so important in these times where abortion is all over the world.
Absolutely.
And here she is carrying the baby Jesus and showing us the importance of life. I think she is just the mother of our times, to be sure.
Claro que sí. Yes, of course. So who knows about that miracle of the glowing embryo that appeared?
Oh, yes. Tell us.
Do you want to tell it? So I don't remember what year it was, but it was not that long ago. And I don't know how much time it lasted, more than a day, I'm sure. But it was as if the sun was shining on her womb, and there was a brilliant fetus in her abdomen. So yes, her message is, life is sacred, and we need to stop abortion. That's what she asked, to reinvigorate our faith in the Holy Eucharist, stop abortion, pray and work against sin.
I think that happened when they tried to approve the abortion in Mexico City, in that exactly time.
Gloria a Dios!
Yes, that's what happened.
Yes. That's what I mean about she's alive. These things keep occurring. It's not once and done. Who knows what she's going to show us next year or in the future?